Welcome to another video with Home with the Edwards. This video is an addition to my last video, which was starting gardens with seeds. And this video, I'm going to go over my process of what I've done this year, share a spreadsheet, and share some ideas that might be helpful and how we're starting our seeds. And this is really for people who, well, I mean, it's for anybody who wants this information, but for me, it was like I did some gardening, but nothing on the extent that I'm going to be doing this year. And so this is what I'm going to share with you today.
In 2019, we outgrew our house, so we downsized to a home on wheels. We built out our Sprinter van and traveled the country until we decided to buy a property, a home on land. We are Marcus, Janie, Rhea, and Kaya.
This is the spreadsheet that I created. And first of all, before we get started, let me apologize about my voice. I got sick. Probably shouldn't be, well, it's fine that I'm recording today. I really wanted to get this video out, and so I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I feel good, I feel fine, but my voice is a little raspy. So let's look at this spreadsheet. So you'll see here at the very bottom, you see there's the three different tabs, and these show three different pages. But the first one is a seed list, and this is what I've created as somewhat as a master sheet, you could say. So over here in these different columns, there's the in stock is the first column A, which just marks if I have that in stock, if I have that seed. So I went through all of my seeds and typed up everything in here, right? You'll see right there, the vegetable or fruit variety brand. And so I just put everything in here that I have. I also put in here things you'll see like right there, cherries. That's something that we want to grow, cherry tree, clover, different things like that, where you'll see where I didn't have the seed or didn't have the plant and I wanted to add it into there. Next is B, and that's what I wanted to grow in 2022. And so there's no way that we are going to be able to grow everything that I had on or all the seeds that we have for. Already I think we're going to go grow over 100 things. But so I just really went down, or I put that list there, and then I'll tell you my process as I decided what to grow and what not to grow this year. And then category C or column C is the vegetable or fruit. The next category is D, that's the variety. Category E is the brand where, or brand or wherever I bought the seeds from or got the seeds from. Category F, or sorry, column, I keep saying category. Column F is the type, and you can see a lot of them I haven't gone through and filled these out completely. I just wanted to get started. I plan to do this over the year and over the years. And then column G is classification, whether it's perennial or annual. And then it goes to column H. So if I'm going to sow it inside, what the seed recommends for sowing inside, time-wise. Same thing for outside. And then the next columns you'll see over here, they're really hard to see, but you can make these. So if you see these little black tabs, like these little triangles in the corner of anything, it's a way to enter a note. And so real quick, I'm just going to show you how to do that. So what you're going to do is roll over. Here, let me show you on one that doesn't have it. So here, I could put my arrow over the top of that, and then I can right click, and then I can scroll down to insert note. And then I can type whatever I want here. And once I do that, then it will create that little tab. So that way you have a note, and then you don't even have to click on it. You can actually just scroll over the top of it and it'll show you what your note is. And then to delete it, you can just hit delete notes. But these ones here are for early winter sowing, which is something I've never done before. And a friend told me about that. And it's where you do it in milk jugs or clear jugs, basically create a little mini greenhouse. And I didn't know what the term was, but it's called early winter sowing. And so in here I found another gal I don't know if I wrote it down. I have these notes here, but I don't know if I'll add it to this spreadsheet, because what I'm going to do is make this spreadsheet available to anybody who wants it. You won't be able to edit mine, but what I'm hoping to do is to make it available, and then you can take it and make a copy and edit it however you want based off of your zone. But in here, so this is early winter sowing. And then you have the next one is winter sowing, and then late winter sowing. So these are, and then they're done based off of dates and what kind of seeds they're going to be. And so at this point I'll mark little X's to show when to sow those. Succession, I haven't filled a lot of these out. So a lot of these, I'm like, I just got to get these seeds started. So I haven't done the succession in a lot of these, but these are going to be vegetables that you can grow throughout the season. So for instance, I look here at 18. So that's beets. It's showing that I can plant them every 2 to 3 weeks. So I'll add that to my schedule. And then location, where they're going to like to be planted. Or I also put on some things like this, like no foes. So basil, like saying that they're good to plant with whatever. So you could also do a companion planting column, or location. You could actually just insert notes on, like I did on the last one, hit notes and enter all of that information if you don't want to have columns for all of it. Days to harvest, and then harvest year. So the spreadsheet, I got the idea from another guy. I found his, and his was really helpful. And so I'll share his down below too. And I took out some of his columns because I'm not there yet. But one of the things that I wanted to put in here, categories, was the harvest year. And so that's when you start collecting your own seeds. Then you'll put in here when you collected them. And then the idea is if there's not a date in there, then you'll know that you need to make sure that you're collecting seeds that year, or whatever year you're planting, so that way you don't run out of seeds. Okay, so let's kind of go through this really quick. I have these the ones that I have highlighted are ones that I knew that I needed to order, that I was going to plant this year. So you can see I have some, so for instance, where was it? I think it was the cherries. No, I can't find where it was. Okay, so in stock, let's look down here. I don't have, I can't find it now, you guys. Let's see. Nope, I think I wrote. Okay, so for instance, yeah, that makes sense. So I don't have cherries, nor am I planning on growing them this year. So I didn't highlight it, but the ones that I was like, I didn't have in stock and I plan on growing, I made sure to highlight it. So that way I knew what I needed to order. So I actually already did my order, and so I can come back through and not highlight any of these. So I'm trying to think of what else I might need to tell you for if anybody's not familiar with the spreadsheets, but this is just Google. So if you have a Gmail account, you can just go into your Drive and hit create document and the spreadsheet, and this is how you access this. So this is all online. But for this scenario, for this video, I'm probably not going to teach a lot about the sheets. You can ask me questions. I'll be happy to answer. Other than you'll just take this copy and paste it, make your own copy, and then you just fill it out however you want. But to highlight a color, you put it here, there's highlight here, or you can create borders around it. And like I said, I think the thing that you'll need to know is the insert notes, which I already showed you that. If there's anything else you can think of, drop it in the comments and I'll be sure to respond to it. Okay, and so then what I did is after I made this sheet, I was like, okay, I have got to, now I'm like, okay, how do I figure out what I'm planting this year? And so really quick, let's look at this Gardens 2022 plan. This is definitely not done, but I just want to briefly go over this. So in here, what I've done is the garden areas, like what garden area and what to grow. And then I kind of took out some of the categories from the master sheet and put it in here. Okay, you guys probably laugh. These are our garden names, because we're not going to have just your typical conventional garden rows and whatnot. We actually I mean, we have a lot of different garden plants for our new property, but currently we have a bunch of different small beds. They're almost like vignettes. And so that's what we're doing. And I just told Rada one day, my daughter, she's 13, said, hey, help me come up, or I didn't even tell her to come up with names. I'm like, just give me names. And she's like, what? And then I told her, I was like, the garden beds, and I told her which one. And she just like came up with them. So we got the Water Boy Garden, the Dragon Spring Garden, Little Miss Garden, Swan Garden, Humpty Dumpty Garden, Agatha Garden, and Shakina Lene Garden. And funny story, real quick, she didn't name that one. That I actually wanted to name my daughter that when I was little, and I didn't name my daughter Shakina Lene. So I'm gonna have a garden named Shakina Lene. But so in here, this is where I'm planning, looking at everything, because it's so overwhelming when people are like, okay, you have all these vegetables to grow. This is a perennial, this is an annual. This needs this kind of soil, but this one needs this soil. This needs this much sun. This needs shade. This needs this type of water, this amount of water. This needs less watering. Also looking at, trying to think of the other things. Companion planting. Don't plant it next to this because that's bad for it, or this will help it, or this will help with the pests. So what I've done here is taken it a step further, and I'm starting to categorize everything based off of what I think is going to grow together well, and with the soils and the amount of sun and everything like that. Now, I've took a break from doing this because this is our first year on our property. And so we have not been there for a spring or a summer yet. We saw the property in September. We closed in September. So I'm not exactly sure, because we have a lot of deciduous trees. And so I'm not sure how much sun all of these garden beds are going to get exactly. So I kind of paused for right now. I was like, you know what? I just need to get my seeds started. But this is so that way, wherever you decide that you're going to do your gardens, if you're going to do them in pots, like even if you don't have like a lot of property and you're in the city and you're just doing pots, like planting pots or whatever on your porch, or garden boxes, or you might have like multiple garden beds. The idea is that way you can start to kind of label them together before you actually go to the paper and start drawing it out. So that's what I've done here, is to kind of put everything, what I think I'm going to grow together, and what garden bed they're going to be. So that's that. And then we'll head over to the planting list 2022. So this here shows the highlighted area. Let's see. Okay, so we have the name of the plant, and then I wrote P or A. So same thing, if you're going to create a column and you don't have a lot of room to write, I didn't want to make this column like giant to list the whole word. So I made it small so I could just put a letter in there. So then I just put a note in there. And then I'm also put in there that I'm going to count self-seed annual as perennial, because a lot of the times the self-seeding ones are going to come back like a perennial. Not all the time, but hopefully that's the plan. And then I wrote in here the plan date. So I came through and I looked back at my master sheet, and I looked when I would type in the word, I would, let's see, we're looking at calendula. I don't know. I always say things wrong. And then, so if I had it, I was trying to be good about when I typed in the seeds to write all of this information. I was not on all of them. Oh, and I should mention, that's when, like, what I was doing on the actual fruit or vegetable, I haven't done it with all of them. I'm trying to just basically copy and paste, go to the websites. So for instance, that's from Baker Creek, the calendula. So I went to Baker Creek and typed, went and got their strawberry blonde variety, typed that in their search bar. And then I went and copy and pasted what they said about it in here. And that way I just have all of that information. And then let's see, where was I going with this? So yeah, if I, arrow over, I can see if I wrote, I didn't on that one. Okay, that doesn't help. But some of these you can see on, all of this information. I tried to figure like all of this out and then come over here and figure out when I was going to plan it. or when it needed to be seeded. Sorry, mumbling my words together. So I came in here and decided, like, once I figured out when the dates were that they needed to be started based off of whether they were going to be sown in the jug, so the winter sowing, indoors, direct seeds, and then I wrote in here details, and I didn't want to write like a big, like same thing. I didn't want a big long section, so I just did details, so that way if there are details on anything, I can just put it in there, and then you can just scroll over it and see information. And then succession, I'll add that in there later, and then notes that you may need. So really quick, let me show you, I'm going to show you how I did this to where you can, if you're using this, because I had these, I just typed them in. So I guess they were somewhat in alphabetical order because the seed list is done alphabetically here. But it wasn't. Okay, sorry, let me back up. So when you're typing stuff in, don't stress out about, like putting it in alphabetically or by, for instance, on this planting list, by the plan date. What you're going to do, the way that you can organize it is, say that I want to look at this sheet alphabetically instead of by the plan date. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to highlight all of these. I think I have to highlight them all. You might not have to highlight them all, but I'm going to, just because to be sure. So I'm going to highlight that. And then I'm going to come up here to, let me just get to the top so that you can see. And then I'm going to come up here to data, click on that. And we're going to go to sort range and go down to advanced range sorting options. And so you want to look at what column you want to sort by. So we said column A. We wanted to do it alphabetically. So at that point, click on that and you're going to hit column A. So you can choose whatever column here, but we're doing column A and we want to go A to Z. So then I hit sort. And then now you can see that it did it alphabetically. It changed it alphabetically. Oh, I remember why. You want to highlight all of the columns because the one time I didn't, and what happened is it changed column A alphabetically, but it didn't change the rest of the columns, so it got it all mixed up. And luckily, I was able to hit like undo, 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 because I was like, oh my gosh, all my work I just lost it all. But so make sure that you click all of the columns. But now you can see things alphabetically. If you needed to go back and be like, did I miss anything? I need to look at it alphabetically. Or if you're like, okay, now I want to see it back into the plan date so I can see when I need to start writing everything down or looking at this sheet to see when I need to plant everything. So you'll go back up to your data and go to sort range. Go down to advanced, and we're looking at column C for the plan date. So click over here on column C, and even though it's by numbers, it will still do it like A to Z. So just leave it at A to Z and hit sort, and then now you'll see it switch to the dates. So when I did all of this, I have started late on some of these things because life. So that's one thing. You just got to roll with the punches. Sometimes things don't happen as planned, but when you have a plan, you're better off than not having a plan because then you get things done. So here we have, I wrote the plan date and then the actual date. So what I'm doing is coming in and I can look at these and be like, okay, what is to date? I can set timer or alarms in my phone. I can write them in my journal. However, whatever you want to do to keep you organized So in here, I know these were ones that I didn't have. I didn't even have like most of these seeds. We'll see that one. Some of these seeds I didn't have yet. Other ones, I didn't start doing all of this until this month. And I realized, oh, I should have started those earlier, but that's okay. It'll be fine. And then what I've done is done the plan date and then the actual date as I seeded them, as I planted them. So you'll see here that you're going down. And now I know, okay, my next date is 2/18. Well, and I can see, oh shoot, I didn't plant these yet. They need to be planted. Are they still good to be, seeded? Can I still seed them now, or do I need to wait and decide to do them indoors or direct instead of winter sowing? It's a good way to be able to evaluate and reevaluate. And then down in here, you can see like my next one is I don't have anything scheduled until the 18th, February 18th. And so I can be ready for that, and that will help me know. So right now I know, okay, those are going into the jugs. So I know that I need to have those prepared, and I'm very grateful for my husband. He actually went and found some milk cartons. We don't have any, we drink milk, but they don't come in cartons, the plastic cartons. And my sister's family has a lot, but she's starting to do this too. So he went and called a bunch of coffee shops while he was in town and asked if they have any milk jugs. And he was able to pick up, I think, like 8 milk jugs. But if you're in here, you can see, okay, wait, on the 18th, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have 5 seeds that need to go into jugs, so I need to be prepared and have those ready. Or same thing with indoor stuff. Okay, do I have all of my trays or whatever I'm going to use for indoor sowing? So that is what this is. And then let's see, notes. So right now I don't really have anything in there other than just, I know that the peppers are going to need heat mat and lights, which I'm trying to figure out. That's why I wrote experiment without and off-grid, because we are really trying, we're not planning on going off-grid right now, but would like to try to be not using electricity and all of the modern luxuries as much as we do. So trying to get used to doing things in lives without it. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that. And I actually watched, I'll link it down below. I say that and then I forget to come back to the videos. I will try to. I think it's an American homesteading. He had a pretty good idea with the peppers. He pre-sprouted them in paper towels. Wet the paper towels and put them in plastic baggies. And then he said for the heat, he just carried them on him. He just carries them on his pocket or inside his, clothes while he's out working throughout the day. And it keeps them nice and warm. And then once they sprout, then to set them by the fireplace if you have a fireplace. But I'll link the video because it's way more detailed than what I just told you. But let's see. And then down here, you'll see this, other notes. You might want to write other little notes that you might want to do. Like I'm going to be trying a bunch of different stuff to see what works best for me. And then right here, this guy actually can be moved around. This is just an insert, and I'll show you how to make these if you wanted to add them to yours. But I just had this as I was trying to figure out all of the dates, because a lot of packages or whatnot, they don't give you your date. They just say 2 to 4 weeks or 8 to 10 weeks before. So it was just helpful for me to have this so I can see it, but I made it so it can move. So that way, as I'm scrolling down, because you can only freeze like so many rows. So those top rows are frozen, but this one here will just move. I can move it around. So to create one of those, or first I'll show you how to edit this if you download this and you want to use it. Those 3 little dots in the corner, you just click on that and you can hit edit. And then you can go in here and edit it, add text or whatever. And then I have it highlighted. That's why it's a little pink box, is I just have it, I just highlighted everything and hit the fill color. So save and close. Okay. Oh, my computer is about to die. Hold on, I'm gonna stop this recording and come right back. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Hopefully this doesn't change the audio too much and I remember where I was. I think I was talking about the little insert. So if you want to make an insert on your own, the way that you do that is you just come up to data and hit, insert. So come up to insert, and there in this section you'll see there's charts, pivot table, image, drawing. I'm not real experienced with this, but this one is a drawing. You just hit drawing, and it's actually a box. And I mean, you can draw in there, but you can add text. So you just hit text box, do that, and then you can type in whatever you want. But that's also one of the things that's cool is you can, and I don't think it actually did because I didn't put anything there. That's what's neat is you can insert images. So if you are in here and you had pictures of plants or seed packets or whatever you need to be, you can, do that. You can hit your insert and hit insert an image. And I don't know that you can do it inside of notes. I don't think you can. There are definitely people that are more experienced. I probably just know enough in here to make me dangerous. Okay. Well, I think that's pretty much it. I think I pretty much talked about this spreadsheet. This is just a start. I'm sure I'll be doing more, adding more. So I'll probably, I'll probably keep a copy of this just as is. So that way, if you want to use this, because I have a feeling I'll change it as I go and modify it. So I'll make both copies available. I'll make this one so that way it's like just everything that I said here on this video. But I'll make another one that if I change it a lot and add different columns and whatnot, I'll make that available as well. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to like and comment and subscribe if you haven't yet. We're glad you're here and hope you have a blessed day and get to growing some seeds.